Newly crowned Miss South Africa Lalela Mswane will represent the country in the Miss Universe pageant in Israel despite backlash from a civil society group calling the beauty to pull out of the event. So Mswane, who is currently 24 years old, who was crowned in October, was called to pull out of the event because it is occurring in a country that has been accused of apartheid-like human rights crimes against the Palestinian people. So basically, there's currently a war that's happening in Palestine. And for those of you that don't know, it can be traced back to the 20th century, actually, when thousands of Jewish people and many escaping anti-Semitism in Europe moved to the Middle Eastern region to establish a Jewish national state in a movement called Zionism. Okay, so basically this is what happened. So the Balfour Declaration, which was issued by the British government in 1917, supported the establishment of a national home for Jewish people in Palestine, which was then a region under the Ottoman Empire. So that led to a massive settlement process, which was boosted by the seizure of power by Nazi Germany and anti-Semitism in Europe. So the movement was described as colonialism at the time, which was not regarded as a pejorative term as it is today. So Britain lifted its control over Palestine in the wake of the Second World War, and Israel became independent in 1948. Palestinians have relentlessly opposed Israel's occupation of territories, including the West Bank, and hundreds of thousands have forced out of their home as a result of Jewish settlement and crushing defeat. So basically, in a nutshell, that is what's going on with the Palestinian people and the war that is happening between them and what's currently going on in Israel. So Mswane is set to actually participate in the Miss Universe pageant, and that pageant is set to take place in Israel, and this group of people are actually boycotting or calling for Miss South Africa, to boycott the pageant because it's obviously going to take place in this country, which is Israel, and Israel right now is depicting some really apartheid-like tendencies. Okay, so in response to all of this, our current Miss South Africa actually issued a statement regarding what she was going to do, because as I've said, she's been receiving pressure over the past week about actually attending and taking part in the Miss Universe pageant. And this is what she said: Miss South Africa Lalela Mswane will represent South Africa at the Miss Universe competition held this year in the Pretoskuk, Israel resort town, Elliot, on December 13. Excuse me if I couldn't pronounce that properly. So this is contrary to any indication otherwise. Miss South Africa organization CEO Stephanie Wales said that she was aware there were statements indicating that Lalela had pulled out, but these were completely unfounded and untrue. So with all the information and fake news going around, Whale added that Miss South Africa organization was thrilled to be able to make Lalela's childhood dream to wear the crown while representing her country globally come true. Mswane has spoken out openly about being bullied as a child. She will not be bullied as an adult against fulfilling her ambition. Whale said a very small but extremely vocal group had attempted and failed to derail Mswane's chances at the prestigious international pageant. As the reigning Miss South Africa, Lalela will join participants from close to 70 countries in this contest and will represent South Africa to the best of her ability. So she further said South Africa was placed very firmly in the 21st century when Zozibini Tunzi, proudly wearing her natural hair without trying to conceal it under a weave or wig, was crowned Miss Universe. Her refusal to bow down to pressure to look a certain way was groundbreaking and opened the door to diversity and rise of the individual as opposed to lookalikes. Okay, so I'm so sorry I'm laughing, but I literally don't know what that has to do with Israel, the war, and Mswane participating, not the war, the conflict, and Mswane participating in Miss Universe, which is going to be held in a very conflict-ridden state currently. So, to get back to what I was reading, like her, Lalela will be a role model to young women, not just across the country, but across the African continent. Highly doubted. Anyone who wants to rob Lalela of her moment in the spotlight is unkind and short-sighted. She is the shining beacon for young women everywhere, showing them that being beautiful while being clever and educated is very possible. We are not a political organization, and the Miss South Africa Universe pageant is not a politically inspired event. So basically that is the statement that was released, I believe, on behalf of our current reigning Miss South Africa regarding the situation of her and the allegations that she had pulled out of the pageant that will be taking place in Israel. And people on Twitter have a lot of varying opinions regarding this, because obviously, I mean, if she's supposed to be a beacon of hope for our young girls, then we would hope for her to fight and take a stance against freedom. But hey, what do I know? But people are saying that this is unkind, right? Some people are saying that this is unkind. And someone said on Twitter, it says, and I'm guessing it's rooted from undermining black people. That decision is by the Miss SA organization, not entirely hers. And who told you she hasn't been outside South Africa? Y'all stay saying this ain't bullying. Okay, so basically what this person is speaking about is just basically to say that you know, the statement that was made by the Miss South Africa organization and not our Miss South Africa herself. But I think, you know, it was made in collaboration of the two. I think as Miss South Africa, you literally have the ability to influence a lot of people, and also the organization that you work for and the organization you represent, right? So I do think that by them quoting that this has been a childhood dream and she has been bullied in the past, and you know, they don't want her to give into this bullying that's happening by, and I quote, a very, very small but vocal organization, that, you know, that indicates to me that she must have had some part in what's happening. And to me, I just think that South Africa as a nation is a copycat nation. Basically, if any of these superpowers, and I mean the giants of the world, had pulled out of this competition, you know, then trust and believe South Africa would have pulled out of this competition too. So far, I believe it's only the Asian countries, 2 Asian countries that I'm aware of, that have pulled out of the Miss Universe competition that's happening, and that is Indonesia and Malaysia. And obviously, Indonesia and Malaysia aren't by any means or measure superpowers, are considered political superpowers in the world. And I do believe that they're actually standing by this decision to participate in this competition because they haven't seen any of the big superpowers pull out, and they haven't seen enough pressure for them to pull out. South Africa as a nation in all spectrums is generally not inclined to do the right thing if they're not being forced to do the right thing. And I think that if Miss South Africa is the beacon of hope that she is, then she should basically be trying to stand for what is politically just and what is politically right. And currently this conversation is very heated on Twitter because people are saying that this is a form of bullying. I do understand that Miss South Africa has to fulfill her childhood dreams, and it would be great of her to fulfill her childhood dreams, but you must also look at the conditions in which you're fulfilling your childhood dreams. Would you want to be a person that is fulfilling their childhood dreams in an environment where there's conflict, where there's heartbreak, where there's terror, and where there's denial of territory? I know I wouldn't. And I would just like, obviously, people to just come around and have a discussion around whether or not she should make this, you know, and it would be a big sacrifice, you know, big sacrifice on her part, whether she should make this decision and actually pull out of the competition, or if she should stand by her childhood dreams and actually take part in an organization that's going to send her to a country that is currently politically unstable and currently has so many human rights violations and injustices happening. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this video was very, very long. Tell me what you think about this situation in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next upload. Goodbye, lovelies.